Hey guys, we're moving into the third recording of the day of this new content for part 2 over on Tanabata for JP. We have the burst mode for the Omega Shenron fight. Now, this one is a little different because it's on super difficulty. Now, don't let that fool you. This was, I believe, my third or my fourth try with different team builds. What I ended up doing was a power beyond Super Saiyan kind of setup. And it really ended up just kind of working out because I wanted to have the Buu duo, and trying to run 2 of those was just a little problematic because of the way it kind of played out. I just had units on the team, on the Buu Saga team, that just like couldn't take supers, and anytime they took a super, it was just GG. So what I tried to do was go for a team that was a little more stack oriented, and then for my floaters, we just had like orb changers that can, you know, bail out themselves a little bit with defense when they get a ton of orbs, and that was kind of the idea. So it's like, hey, if they don't get any hits, we can get easier key, because you guys know how burst mode goes. But what I want to try and do is make this as clear and concise as possible for what you need to do to beat the burst mode. Now, let me kind of break this down. I think what I'll do is, just to give you a good idea of what's going on, I'm gonna like pause it real quick and look at every like condition. You guys aren't gonna miss anything, but let me kind of explain what I'm doing as I'm doing it, so that way there's not like a figuring it out phase, right? So let me figure out like every little condition, because I didn't record myself going through the conditions, and I'll tell you exactly what I chose, and that way we all are kind of on the same page, right? So give me a minute, we'll be right back. Okay, so we are back. I just wanted to make sure, like I said, that we have everything kind of laid out clearly for you. So the conditions that we ended up choosing were the second category listing, the one that is not the Majin Buu Saga. I believe this is what happens, right? So I'll make sure that I say it, like I'll put it on the screen like in text when I figure out which one it is. But basically what we're doing is like we're just running a power beyond Super Saiyan team, right, and stuff like that, and movie heroes. But what we have in terms of conditions is we've taken it so the enemy cannot have their attack lowered, they cannot have their defense lowered, they can't be stealed, they can't be stunned, enemy skill, so the translation here, it says enemy skill, super skill, and extreme skill damage is reduced by 50%, so I believe that's like supers, 18 keys, actives, and all that. It's like additional damage reduction. We have attack and defense plus 200 for the enemy. We have enemies with 30% damage reduction. We have enemies' attack is raised by 450%. Their defense is raised by 400%, and then the enemies' HP is increased by 950%. And then enemies' damage is, when it's less than 100,000, it gets reduced to 0. So if you see like a normal or something and it does less than 100,000 damage, it will be cut to 0. Now, for the typing restrictions that we have, it is tech and physical, as you can see by the team that we have composed here. And then we also have the inability. What I usually don't do is I don't let the enemy lock you in place, because that just ends up being really frustrating and annoying. So I usually try and like work around that by adding like more points to the offense, more points to the defense, maybe a little bit more HP. But what we also have is the inability to use support items, the inability to use support memories, and then we also have key -1 for everybody. So hopefully that's concise enough for what you're looking for. The total points should be a little bit over 6,000. I believe it's either 6,070 or 6,030. So that ends up being, you know, a little bit inconvenient, but the other way that you can do this is like a physical / tech Majin Buu Saga setup. I personally found this one to be a little bit easier just because we have more stacking ability and a little more power creep on this team. Rather than running two Buu duos, we only have one. And this fight against Sin into Omega is only 2 phases, but it does take a little while, just because this guy has so much, like what feels like has so much HP, and we're just not doing any damage, right? So that's really what it comes down to. Again, if you guys want to skip ahead to the end of the video, if you play on JP and you want to see the options that I chose, there will be a list of things, and basically what I had to do is just go and translate those just to make sure everybody's on the same page, because I think rather than trying to figure it out as I go, and I think I understand the process, that it is good when people record it like that, but I feel that, you know, I want to try and make a burst mode video that's as concise as possible, and that's sort of the way to do it, right? Where it's just like, let me tell you everything I chose, get the points, and then this is the run that you want to do, right? So I hope everything makes sense with that, but getting into the fight, this first phase is a little bit tricky, and we do need a little bit of luck, just because I feel like I made this harder on myself than I needed to. But like maybe adding those points in terms of like what's the word, right? Like the units that we used, the point spread, like we just made him hit a lot harder and take a lot less damage than we probably needed to do. But like I said, when I was running my setups, it was literally like supers were doing like 650k, and I felt that running double god duo, especially with the attack nullification that they can bring to the table, I thought that that was the most appropriate way of going about it. So that's what I ended up doing. And it ends up working out pretty nicely. This does take just a little bit, and it's nothing too crazy. But like burst mode again, it's just it can be a pain in the ass, right? So right here is where I kind of like I'm thinking like, okay, we're probably going to take a lot from these normals, but what I have to do is put Vegeta in slot 2 because got like just with the way the orbs kind of spread out is I believe what I do is I grab these int orbs to try and get the physical ones to fall for GT or for you know, blue Goku here. And that brings them up to a decent bit, and we get some healing in. That is also like the big kind of thing that they do, is they're not going to tank a super or anything, but with all those orbs, they tend to heal up a decent bit. And it's like, if they don't get them, we can get a God Duo with 400, 500k defense, and we can let them grab them instead. So we have How Dare You Hit My Bulma, Vegeta. He's doing his thing. Nothing really too mind-blowing. Takes a little bit of damage, but does have that guard and defensive build-up, so it is nice as a second kind of unit to throw next to the other God Duo. And then we just have Blue Goku here, just because why not, right? I felt that that was the smartest way to go about it. I forget if we get the standby with the Boo Duo in this video, but what I think what we go for here is, yeah, we want to grab these tech orbs, and then it doesn't matter to get these tech orbs for Vegeta because he's not getting hit. And really the only reason we would get a lot of tech orbs for him is that way he would heal up on the, you know, hit. So right there, we do actually end up using the standby probably. Was the one super that we could not afford to take, and we ended up taking it. So like right there, it would have been nice to get the standby, but this is kind of where I feel like the run is chalked at this point. It's like I don't know what to do, and ultimately the RNG of Dokkan kind of comes and plays in my favor, which is, you know, not often, because you know how this game goes. They love to make the funny jokes, right? It's like, oh, what if we lock this unit, or oh, what if we super the one unit that can't get supered, and they just love to do the crap like that. So it ends up working out, but it was a little bit more stressful than I would have liked it to be, right? Because like it's like, this is just frustrating because it's freaking burst mode, right? It's like, this is not like a GT Goku event run. This isn't a red zone video. This is not just any video, just like, you know, copy and paste whatever you want to think, right? So right here we bring out the the God Duo, and we do get the active skill. Now I forget if we use it right here or not. I think we do it. I'm thinking no, we save it and we'll dodge and try and save it for the next phase, because I just don't feel that we need to use it right here. And yeah, we do end up bringing Super Saiyan 3 out, but the God Duo is doing an ungodly amount of damage or whatever, not even a lot, but it's that little bit of HP that Omega or Sin has, it's going to be enough. That's kind of the thought process here. It's like no matter what he does, this is going to be enough. So, excuse me. The attack break, there we go. Boom. He's good to go. So we have, let's see. So now what I was thinking was this was the second phase of the fight, right? Or not the second phase. I was thinking that this was, the second to last phase, right? So it's like we get this Omega and then we do another one. And it turns out that was not the case. And so this actually, what you're looking at right now, this is where I do get uber lucky, right? Where it's like no hits on, you know, Goku right here, and he didn't make any physical orbs. So it's like it would have been, you know, GG, rest in piss, Bozo, if that were to have played out the way it did. But we get the standby for the Super Spirit Bomb, and we don't end up using it in this video, but really it's like, aside from just like having it, it's just a matter of the damage that it's gonna, or it's the defensive capability that I'm worried about, because now they can't take anything, right? So boom, there we go, guard, all that fun stuff. You're not doing any damage to him. Just go ahead and super him, please. And he ends up not supering him, but we have the attack break from the Blue Duo right here, and that ends up working out pretty nicely in our favor. And we get the attack break. I don't remember if they crit or not. They do, but you guys can see a crit's only doing 1.7 mil, so nowhere near as much as we would ideally like. But I think what you guys are going to see here is Super Saiyan 3 Goku. He actually ends up cooking pretty well for us. Maybe I'll make that like into a short. We'll kind of like, we'll clip it from this video and then we'll make it into a short. So it's like, yeah, you guys are going to see physical Goku. It's like, yeah, so Super Saiyan 3 Goku, he has a really impressive turn coming up here. I was very pleased to see what he did. So it's like, Omega can lock, and I guess that is something I didn't like really like, what's the word, benefit from. So check this out, right? Super Saiyan 3 Goku, after we do this active skill, he actually ends up having like an okay turn, right? I think he supers twice, but what you guys are gonna see is we gotta make sure we grab the right orbs, but watch Super Saiyan 3 Goku kind of just go crazy, right? And obviously we grab the tech orbs for all the healing that we're gonna get right here too. So 300k right there. We're at a decent amount of HP where I'm feeling comfortable, but 6.5 million from Super Saiyan 3 Goku on this specific turn. We got to make sure we get all the nodes. Yeah, see, I'm really good at this game, I swear. And it's just like the amount of crits that he's doing, right? That is really where it kind of comes down to. So it's like, what we're looking for is, well, in an ideal world, we get like that quad super quad crit turn, but I do believe we get 3 or 4 crits out of this, but we'll see, right? So here we go. This is the first attack for 6.5. No crit, but the Dokkan attack kind of bailed us out. And then we get 7 million right here. Watching not get crits on either of these, and I just sound like a dumbass. Here we go. We do get a crit on that one for much less because of no Dokkan attack multiplier. And then we get a crit on the normal right there. And then we do another normal, and then we get another crit. So 4 attacks, 3 crits, pretty good. And then the blue duo is coming to kind of finish up and take care of business, so to speak. So that's really it in terms of this burst mode. Just comes down to getting the right attacks and all that fun stuff. But really, it's we just needed them to crit to come through. So like I said, we're going to be getting to that portion where I show you everything that I selected. Maybe what I'll do actually is I'll try and maybe not. So I had to unfilter everything, like I said. So just pay attention right here, and then you can kind of like see what you need, right? So we'll look at the amount of points, and then whenever you do your selections, just make sure that the points add up to this, right? So 6,030, and then I slowly go through it. So it's like, there's the category, here's the typings that I used, and then 500 team cost. I forgot about that. And then inability to be stunned, inability to be sealed, attack buffs, defensive buffs, 200%, all that. And then here's how all the points are going to look when you're done with it. And it should all add up to 6,030. And if you kind of just copy everything that I did right there, should be good to go. And now I just got to go back and run the mission with another category, and that's super easy to do. So thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to leave a like if you enjoyed, and I'll catch you next time.